panic attack.
But
We're gonna move to our next topic. It's a very sensitive one for the
the good
longest,
old
as I can
days.
remember. When gaming was right, when movies were actually there to entertain you and not try to give some political message or whatever the case may be.
Oh God.
When just everything was better. There was a little thing called came every summer, and every summer me and my cousin we would watch it and just be, oh man, do you
Looking
see
at
that?
stuff we.
The press conferences showing of new hardware, games,
Mm-hmm.
gameplay, everything. You had motherfuckers skipping school to make sure they could be at home for E3 because see, on one day you had the
Yep.
press conference
Yep.
that
Yeah.
broke down the
Yeah.
real shit. The real shit. Like you missed that press conference. Hey man, you should have luck because when the articles were going reported, they didn't show or have everything that was from that press conference. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next couple of days was just interviews and gameplay and stuff. But E3 was the shit, baby. And I remember for a lot of our young years, we always dreamed, man, we gonna get older and we gonna go to E3.
Yeah, cause it'd
And
be some
sadly,
years where it'll be open to the public, and then some years it'll be closed. So it was if you really went to E3 during those years, you was really doing something.
but then sadly, little thing called the pandemic happened and E3 went bye-bye.
I kind of feel it started to go down even before that. Once the
It did start
companies
to go
started
down.
doing their own like state of play, they was like, and not to cut you off, but to cut you off, E3 was so significant while growing up because of how serious the gaming companies took it. They knew this was their shot, broadcast across the world that hey, we got some shit cooking. It's coming at this end of the year. This is it. So they used to come ready to swing at they was coming out swinging, and they was like how I complained about the PlayStation state of play, how it looked like they was just looking for things to fill time. If you was at E3, you knew everything that was in your time slot because you only had so much time to present. You needed to come with the best you got, and you bet not miss. When I say watching E3, we was so judgmental. I remember that E3 used to be the place where you found out the new system's price points. Like
Yep.
that's where you will learn how much this next generation of gaming is going to cost. And then I remember it being a race of like who presented first and how the other company that would come after will lower the price right on the spot just to undercut you. Like it was just a lot. I feel like the companies took it a lot more serious. They were a lot more competitive with one another, and they was fighting over gaming real estate. They was trying to plant their flag for their people and who was going to basically fund them for the next 2 or 3 years. So E3 used to be a lot more serious. It was taken serious by the community. It was so much coverage. I remember G4. They used to be really. It was a whole spectacle. It's really unfortunate, but I get it. It's just the times. Like people, rather than putting on G4 now, probably listens to a streamer that Twitch games and do all this other stuff more than they would do G4 channel as a whole. So it's just consumers are digesting information differently. I still stand on the fact that what made E3 so good back in those days is the companies taking it serious, where they was literally trying to beat one another at that conference. Each one would have their own day and they'll give their best swings, and that was just like halftime. Then in the second half, the one-on-one interviews, they really out here shading the other company like, hey, we made this game, it does X, Y, and Z. Don't it look good? Don't our things we offer is next gen. I remember when Xbox said, hey, we done with that memory card shit. Game changing. So it was just so many big announcements, and I feel like E3 needs like a documentary because it gave a lot of gamers like myself who was really young at the time a lot of memories that I'll never forget. And not to sound all emotional, but it was really a time you had to be alive, and therefore like even listening to this now, if you didn't grow up during that time, then you just cannot relate in the feeling that E3 gave its viewers at the time. But yeah, that's all I got going down memory lane for E3. But look, I know I cut you off, but I'll let you continue.
No, 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 no. I couldn't have said it better. You were absolutely right. Because nowadays you have some of this shadiness shit where Nintendo shows off Nintendo Direct, they show off the new system. You gotta wait either the next day or whenever. One off interview, they said, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be 450." What? You said $450?
A
Why didn't you
thousand
put that
dollars.
the whole thing? Yeah, why didn't you add that in the video? And you are right. Towards the end, it did start to die off. Nintendo, they backed out. Nintendo
Yeah,
did start doing their
yeah,
own thing.
yeah. PlayStation
And
stopped
then
showing
it was
up.
just Microsoft and Xbox, and then I can't. I actually do remember it. It was that year when Sony wanted to be special. They had that guy playing the flute, and they were moving people from tent to tent, trying to do something unique. I think it was they were trying to promote Tsushima, do something, different culture, show you people truly creativity, and everyone was making fun of them and shitting on them and all this, and they're like, you know what? Fuck you people. You all don't deserve what we're trying to bring. And it slowly, as time and technology went on, it slowly is unalive. And we have other things going now. PlayStation does their state of play and their game showcase. Nintendo does their directs, and Microsoft has the Microsoft Theater that they do their whatever the hell it is that they be doing from there. But it just does not hit. I'm gonna take it back, and I'm gonna give Xbox some credit. E3 was similar to Microsoft's Summer of Arcade when they used to have those certain indie games that they would pump out. You can get them at deals and promote, and it was like the start of summer because in
Hmm.
the gaming sector, you didn't have a lot of games that came out during the summer. That was strictly for the movies. That was for the movies. Summer was the summer blockbusters. Summer is when they used to prep everyone for the fall season. Hey, you got this new game coming out. You all remember when they showed off the original Modern Warfare 2 and they showed the multiplayer trailer, how they truly upped it from Call of Duty 4 to Modern Warfare 2. Everyone was, oh shit. Those were moments you truly had to be there for. They were, oh my God. Now, whatever the hell, when summer comes, it's like, oh, that came, oh, okay. Oh, that's nice. You got the Summer Game Fest, which we get into that later. It's a topic for another show, but it's unimpressive. It's unimpressive. And it's been replaced by the shills, people who are in the industry who, they're little buddies, like, hey, I give you this for this little bit of airtime. It's just not the same. E3 it wasn't just for the companies. It also was for the consumers. Because at one point it was open to both. I can't remember what happened. Then they took it away and it was only just the corporations. But then they realized, like, hey, we're only making so much money off of this. Then they brought it back. And it was slowly for journalists and business people. And then they brought consumers back. And I was like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have like the first, I think it was first 1 or 2 days, conferences and the devs and everybody else. And then the next 2 or 3 days, then we'll let the audience in. They can have their fun. They can buy exclusive swag bags, plushies, merchandise you only could get there. You got hands-on footage with a game before the game came out. You were able to talk to the developer who was humble to get feedback. Not just now, you tweet at them like, hey, well, your game stutters. And they like, and everyone's gotten too comfortable with the internet age and saying some slick shit or not doing something when you say something to them. And that's like, oh, well, I ain't got to do nothing. You bought the game already. You didn't have all that. You ain't had none of that. Like, and then when it went away, it was just this void. Now I understand was a factor because I think the ESA, the Entertainment Software Associates, when they the ones who lobby and run the video game sector and E3, I think they were charging them like millions of dollars for the floor space, building the booths, and doing all that. When PlayStation/Sony don't got big dick money like Xbox, where this is just some shit they just write off. Even Sony and Nintendo were like, yo, why are we paying you to show you a game when we can just control the narrative and how the game is shown our way? And to an extent, I get that.
Yeah,
I
but
get
I can see what you're saying, like more in recent years. But like I said too, E3 was the place where you made your announcements, and once that started to go away, it no longer made sense to pay that large number to be there because, like, like technology is different and things like that. So But as E3 became less and less important, that kinda was his death sentence in a sense.
Yeah, it was. And I guess maybe I just missed the flair.
I do too.
Cause like
I
you
do.
said, you had corporations really coming at each other. Yeah, we made this game this way, not like that other guy's game where
Yeah.
you can do this, and you're like, damn, he said
Yo, the
that.
shade, the shade.
The shade was there, everything. People really, I think
I
we all took it for
remember
granted.
I remember the E3 after Xbox had the little red ring scandal and PlayStation had made some type of comment and saying, "Hey, you can trust that our systems will work for X amount of years without a problem." I said, "Damn."
Yep,
It was
those were
just
the
so
moments.
many funny moments and memories that I'll just never forget. I remember Nintendo announcing the Wii U, and everybody was like, "What the fuck is
What?
that?" Like, it was so many things where them companies really thought they did something special in the consumer, and that was another reason why too they started letting public back in is because when they was doing these announcements, right? These businesses and just people from the corporations themselves, they will announce stuff that is major and will have no noise come for the crowd. So it felt very hollow. And that's why they brought the public back because they was like, nah, we spending this much money to be here. We need the crowd's reaction to entice the person that's watching on TV. I remember that was a whole thing. Somebody needs to do a documentary on E3 and just really do a detailed timeline. What a wild ride E3 was.
I remember, and this goes to show how humble these companies used to be. I remember when the PS3 was shown off, and it had that whack, ugly ass boomerang controller, and everyone was like, "Yo, what the fuck is that? What is that?" And Sony was just like, "Well, we redesigned. Why did you redesign? What is this shit?" But this also goes to show just how people don't know what the hell they want, because when they pivoted and took the PS3 controller back to the PS2 design, when the PS3 came out and the 360 came out, and everyone was raving, just, oh, this controller is so ergonomic, just fits in your hands. And then everyone was shitting like, oh man, I don't like the PS3 controller, because of this and XYZ. Like, well, they made it the same way as it was on the PS2. You love the PS2. Well, yeah, I had a PS2. Okay, then so what do you complain about?
Mhm.
How quickly they shifted from that, because when they showed it off at E3, I was like, yo, people hate this shit. We
Mhm.
gotta change it. We can't change it, Phil. We're about to get ready to mass produce these. The system hits in X amount of months. Oh well, it ain't hitting no more. No one wants this shit.
Yeah. So many last
That
minute
that does
changes
not
came
happen
from
nowadays.
E3. Yeah.
Or I remember when the Xbox One, let alone we're not even gonna get on the whole 360 quote and all that. When they kept showing television, crowd cheering just got lower and lower and lower. And then when they announced that price at $500, there was just such a sort of like low of clapping. It was like, yo, shut the fuck up. Why are you clapping? Well, I thought we had to. No, nobody want that goddamn price. Then when PlayStation went, and they were like, hey, you can play your games, you can give your games to a friend, you can buy used games, and oh yeah, it's gonna be $400. Everybody was like, what? Clapping. It was a thunderous applause. Get a little video, a blog, updating. Like, hey, everyone teach their own excitement. You can't gauge the way the consumer takes or feels about the product on a major scale at that moment reaction, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? You have to
Mhm.
wait until it hits, and then it's not being sold or whatnot anymore, and it's like, because I remember me and you, we used to always talk like, yo, we get older, we gonna we gonna fucking go to eat. We're gonna save up
Mhm.
money for the plane ride. We're gonna save up money for the fucking hotel. We're gonna sleep in our cars. We have to. We're gonna go. We're gonna get to that magical moment, and then we became adults. We made money, and now they tried to bring it back. They said like, hey, we're gonna make it an all digital event. Okay, well that's no
Yeah.
different than what the State of Play and the Nintendo Direct is. Well, that's not what E3 was. That's not what it's about. How you gonna get somebody to? How you gonna charge someone something for something that's digital? And then here we are.
Yeah, but
Just
definitely hit the comments if you grew up on E3 and what was some of your most favorite memories. Cause yeah, E3 raised me in the gaming world, and I've had to let it go at some point. I had to just say it's over for E3.
Sadly, we all did have to let it go. Do let us all know. How do you all feel? Your thoughts? What were some of the best enjoyments you had of E3 when this all was going? Drop those likes, comments, share your thoughts. And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, are you not entertained?